Integrity versus integral. You know what? A man who says, integrity is a value for me, I get it, I understand it, but don't be a fucking liar. No one has moved through life without having a lapse in integrity through actions, thoughts, feelings, and emotions. No one. So don't fucking lie and stand up on your high horse and say, I'm full of integrity. It's very important, fellas, before we dive into this mindset piece around integrity versus integral, that we recognize the good and the great inside of ourselves and our lives. Too often, we're busy focusing on putting out fires, the flames that are always lighting us up, which creates a state of us being triggered as fuck, looking at all the things that are wrong in life instead of stopping, sitting back and actually having a state of reflection to go, what is great? What has been great? What has been good? You have been here longer than your circumstances. Please understand that. So if you've had a shit run for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and you're 48 years of age, you've been here longer than those circumstances. You've done some great things. Don't fucking write yourself off from the fact that you have done some great things inside of your life. So I'd love, before we even start this, fellas, those who are catching up on the replay, #replay, what's one great thing that you did over the last 7 days? What was a win that you had? Greatest win for the week. We do it with the tribe on the inside. It's important because it's going to put you in a position of perspective to elevate your state and go, you know what? All these things went wrong, Al, but I still fucking turned up here and I won. Yes, you did. That's right. Don't forget that. Because when you forget that, you enter a chronic state of beating yourself up. Self-love or not, that's self-respect, self-value, self-worth. Life is worth living. Life is worth creating to ultimately build the legacy or the foundation from which your children will build their legacy off, because you've set the stage in your own. You can't do that if you're A, pissing in the wind doing nothing, or B, writing yourself off before the next fact, the next day, the next present moment, with some bullshit triggers that you've created by self-sabotaging and tall-popping yourself. Men, you have a lot to offer the world. So many of us create a state where we are breaking our bodies, breaking our backs, our minds for the good of our family without stopping and going, is this what they wanted? Is this what they asked for? Is this what I've wanted? Yes, Al, family first. Put your family first by making sure they're getting 100% of you. Otherwise, you are putting them last. Even though you're giving them 100% of 30% of you, the maths don't lie. The numbers don't lie. So, boys, when we're diving into this session, this short, sharp one about integrity versus integral, I really need to paint the framework for you to reposition your own perspective. I am the alignment coach on the inside. It's the skill set I've developed with probably 10,000, I don't know, maybe more conversations, but thousands of fathers I've helped over the years to listen, to learn, to help understand as best as I can where they're coming from, their perspective, their angle, and then create a filtration process. Okay, is this fact or feeling? What is the underlying truth that's created this? Why is that there? Does that need to be there? Is this serving or killing him? What does he need to do to move forward? To then find a pinpoint approach for you to reflect on what you've shared, to then go, this is what I need to do. You can't do that if you don't focus on the good and great things you've done. So I'd love for you boys to share, what are some of the great things that you've created, that you've done, that you've experienced? And even if that means not doing the bad things or not being triggered, what's one of the great wins that you had over the last 7 days? Integrity versus integral. You know what? A man who says, integrity is a value for me, I get it, I understand it, but don't be a fucking liar. No one has moved through life without having a lapse in integrity through actions, thoughts, feelings, and emotions. No one. So don't fucking lie and stand up on your high horse and say, I'm full of integrity. We've all had those moments, whether it's with ourselves, which we'll dive into when I'm talking about integral, with others, people, places, and things. It's impossible to live a life 100% full of integrity because we all slip up, we all fuck up. We all end up like Pinocchio from time to time, who goes off to the island doing all the bullshit with the boys, and then ultimately you start becoming a fucking donkey. Paint that in any picture that you need to from a past experience, but no one's perfect. And this isn't castrating those men who like to portray a value of integrity. That's phenomenal. But there's a difference between highlighting a single case of integrity and living an integral life. The main difference, fellas, is what you actually define integrity as. See, I need you to understand, when you're a punching bag for your wife, when you're letting your kids roll all over you, or your boss, or you're not leading at the forefront, you don't have that fucking tenacity and almost aggression, I'll call it assertiveness, towards building your business, towards going after the prize, towards juggling the 3 balls in family, self, and service. If you're not doing that by first and foremost giving back to yourself, you can never live an integral life, because you're saying no to the inner integrity of standing up for your values at the risk of conflict, collision, or creating ultimately friction inside of relationships or circumstances, because you're not rising up and being the fucking man who's willing to face things head on at times. And then on the flip side, you're lacking having an integral life because you're too much chaos, too much the Viking, instead of too much the panda, what I just mentioned then. That's a phenomenal podcast episode. You should listen to it. The Viking and the panda. We need both. We can be both. You are both. You just might not know it yet, or you may not have tapped in that. Both of them are power. They're very powerful. You know, there are times when I'm disciplining my children by saying, hey, bedtime, time to go to sleep. And Lillian comes out for the 10th time, and I put her back in bed. And of course, I flick the switch, turn on the voice, and create an expression of energy that says, hey, you need to go to sleep now. Because we understand more than our children do with the chemical makeups and what will happen if my children go to bed at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, what that sets for the day for their own good. But then I walk out of the room laughing because all it is a facade to create ultimately a result that's built off the back of their best interest at heart, whilst not crushing and whilst maintaining my integrity of who I am, because these are the different role-playing characters that we have inside of our life. Let me ask you this though, when have you stopped playing the role of yourself and who you are? This is the hard part, man, and you're not alone. I need you guys to understand this. Like when it comes to giving for the family and sacrificing and pouring into everyone's cup, at the end of the day, you're pouring you're pouring ash and you're pouring fucking air into those cups. There's no liquid coming out anymore, man. You're empty. Like you're running on fumes. Gas tank is gone, it's depleted. I don't know what other metaphors or examples you want. You can't hammer in a nail in the framework of building the structure of a house if you don't have any nails or a nail gun. This is you. What I'm talking about lacking an integral life, what I'm talking about is not the moments of going, oh, I've got integrity, I'm not going to drink this or do that or say this or speak that. It's about actually going, you know what? This is who I am, but this is also who I can become. So at the cost of conflict, friction, or something that may lead to collision in life, whether it's with your wife, your children, workers, colleagues, me, anyone, it's about peeling the layers back and just diving a little bit deeper and going, okay, well, what the fuck's the outcome of that if I'm going to follow through and do it? Is it serving us well? What am I currently now? Am I engaged in a conversation, or am I a punching bag for someone to just vent and dump on? And I'm suppressing all of this emotion because I'm too weak to stand up and actually shed light on what's important for me and what I stand for. Because I'm telling you fellas, whether it's your wife, whether it's your children, whether it's a worker, a colleague, business, clients, they will fucking walk all over you, man, if you do not maintain a framework of continuous internal inner integrity of who you are and what you stand for. That doesn't mean that what you say is always right either. This is how you create alignment for yourself and aligning what's important for you and then expressing and communicating that, as well as seeking alignment from others, from those around you, who you love and care about. And then from that, a construct of alignment together. There are times when I lay down and my wife rules the house. So do my children. I'm sitting down, I've got fairy shit in my hair and they're painting my nails and awesome. And there are times where I look back and I can tap in that state of the guy who used to play rugby league and just wanted to tear someone's fucking face off. It's about switches and knowing that you have the controls. You have the levers to pull. And the faster you can do that, the better that you can transition from state to state to state while still maintaining a core integrity of who you are to that person. I don't speak like this to my grandmother who's like 90 years of age. It's different, man. You are different people to different people, and that's okay. The question is, who is it that's expressing that core level of energy, and does he have a fucking backbone and a spine? Because you know what? When he can see when there's not best interest at heart for himself or those he loves and cares about at play, when there's not love and leadership, expressed through energy, whether it's posture, body language, the words that are spoken, the environment, whatnot, is he going to stand up and have a spine and go, no, this is not right? Because this is modern day intelligence. Education doesn't equal intelligence, fellas. Modern day intelligence, as a father, as a man, as a husband, as someone moving through the world as a true leader, is someone who can be the panda and Viking, but ultimately someone who really recognizes and understands social and self-awareness. When I have social awareness, I can see where the dialogue and where the conversation is going with my wife, and I can see it's starting to consume her a little bit, and it's not something that's wholesome and ideal. So I'm still a phenomenal listener, but I'm actively leading the conversation by asking quality questions and then listening. Same with my children. Social awareness is feeling the energy. This is what life is. It's words, thoughts, feelings, emotions, it's everything. Feeling the energy of life and going, is this moving us forward, yes or no? Is this part of a grieving process, yes or no? There's no 5-minute rule either to go, all right, that's it, no, I've got to move on. We're not robotic. But understanding, fellas, to live an integral life, you must be someone who's willing to adopt modern day intelligence by building social awareness, by recognizing what's around you and being present so you can see what's around you. Present. Like, you got to fuck this stuff off, man. You can't be part of 2 environments at once. This is an environment. I can't be engaging with you whilst looking at this. These are 2 different environments. That's just one very short prime example, especially when it comes to family and connection. And self-awareness, what are you doing to develop yourself? You can be a man who can externally, perceptually have this level of integrity, go, oh mate, no, I'm married, I don't look at other women. Fucking great, mate, good for you. Let's talk about real integrity. Let's talk about living an integral life by actually standing up for the values that you've developed over time because you've had the acuity and sensory perceptions to see that which is around you and be present inside of it, as well as look inside yourself, which is very hard because we can't see that, and look inside yourself and build the framework to go, this is who I am internally, this is what I'm going to express externally, and this is what I will engage and influence outside of me, connecting to what's inside of me, your children, your wife, your business, your work, what I'm doing right here and now in serving you, to create some level of homeostasis and then a foundation or a platform or a launch pad to go, okay, we're here, let's fucking go there. And doing that because you are the leader, leading with actions, internally and externally, emotionally and physically, and expressing that level of energy that leads to an integral life, because you know what? People who you love and care about know where you stand. And that's what this is about. Not being someone's punching bag, but not being an overlord, being someone who really has a level of self-control, but also a level of influence and leadership in controlling the flow of energy. That's what this is about. Look at our tribe and what we do. Even this group here, we've got like 1,500 people or thereabouts. Like, it's controlling the flow and the vibe and the energy to make sure we're all moving in a direction that's actually wholesome. We're not living in the pit. We are the victors, not the victims. And we're liberating ourselves because guess what? We can align with a better purpose and perception that's going to create the actions that we need to take moving forward. That's real integrity. When you apply real integrity in your life as a man, you become someone who creates a level of stability for those around you that love and care about you. What does that equal out? That equals value. That equals respect. That equals appreciation. That equals affection. I mean, it's pretty simple, man. Like, we are pretty simple. All we want in this world is to be wanted. All we want in this life is for someone to go, you know what? You're doing a great fucking thing. You're working hard. I can see that. I appreciate that. Thank you. You can't have that, fellas, if you're volatile or unstable, or if you're not creating a level of inner integrity to be integral across the board with everything that you love and care about in a consistent way. You just can't. No one can believe that. A bit like a rugby league team. Let's Penny Panthers. I used to say 91 Penrith Panthers, grew up out west, and in 2003, and here we are. You can't just look at them game one and go, man, they're going to win the comp. They just beat the Broncos 60 points to nil. You can't do that, and then the next week they get flogged, and then the next week they win. And who would believe that? It's too volatile, man. Any sport. What are you doing to create consistency in your life which will equal appreciation, affection, value, respect? You do that by maintaining consistent integrity, by living an integral life from inside out. Not, this is my view on this, so integrity is a value, because I'm going to say this is something some men do, and I don't do that. How about we speak the fucking truth and not be a liar, first and foremost to ourselves? Because if you chronically give to others, or listen to others, or you're a punching bag to others at the cost of what you know is not right, at the cost of your inner integrity, you're a liar. You're fucking lying. You're not standing up for your truth. Take care, boys. Have an amazing week. I hope this serves you well.